Welcome back to Clash of Cultures. Today, I'm going to be talking about my Clemson Tigers, just kind of the state of Clemson from a fan's perspective, a diehard fan. I'm here on Clash of Cultures, our YouTube channel. Obviously, I'm doing this video by myself, my dad being an Ohio State fan. This is just something that I kind of want to do today. Just a spur of the moment kind of video. Obviously, not where Clemson fans want to be at right now, being 4-2. But I think a lot of people jump ship, and I would never do that. I think Clemson is still in a really good situation to, try to finish the year strong. So I'm going to keep riding with my Tigers and kind of give my opinion, my perspective, and my take on them thus far. But just to kind of get right into it, man, obviously Clemson being 4-2, big loss to Duke, big loss to Florida State, with wins over FAU, Charleston Southern, Syracuse, and Wake Forest. I think when you look at this team, the glaring deficiencies are the wide receiver room, which they've seemed to kind of iron out over the last few weeks. I think clock management is a big issue, and that's comes with having a young quarterback in Cade Klubnik. I also think play calling has been a bit of a plague for the offense. I think situational play calling is a big deal for Clemson. I think in years past when you're just that much talented than your opposition, you can have bad play calls and your playmakers are just going to make the play. I think this year it's shown that Clemson doesn't have, the superior talent on a week in and week out basis. So having those bad play calls like the one against Florida State, the bubble screen on 3rd and 1, they're going to cause you to lose games. Having those fumbles on the goal line, on the read option, I think we've had 3, at least 2, but I think 3 read option handoff fumbles this year, which is simply unacceptable. 2 of them, I think, returning for touchdowns, one of them being returned to the goal line. All of them being in the red zone as well, if I'm not mistaken. Then we had, the quarterback sack fumble by Cade. I think there's just some growing pains that we're trying to get through. And, Cade, like I said, being a young quarterback, a lot of fans jump on him and the same way they jumped on DJ, calling for his job and stuff like that. Cade is the future of Clemson. Again, he's having a really good season, albeit they're 4-2, but I mean, he's throwing at a 65% completion percentage, which is not terrible. 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1,300 yards. He has another 3 touchdowns on the ground. So we're talking about 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, which is better than a lot of quarterbacks, around the country. He's just kind of under a microscope because of the great quarterbacks that Clemson has had over the last decade or so with Taj, Deshaun, Trevor. I think really what keeps us in football games this year is the linebacking core, the defensive line, the much improved secondary. I know Nate Wiggins was hurt. Not sure his status on the upcoming weeks, but the secondary has been really good with Makuba, with Jaden Lucas. They have at linebacker they have Woodis, they have Trotter, they have Barrett Carter. The defensive line is super deep, so I just think the secondary has looked really good thus far. A lot of veterans on the secondary, in the secondary, with RJ Mickens, Jalen Phillips, Sheridan Jones. There's a lot of good guys, and you have the young guys, like I said, Jaden Lucas. You have Avion Terrell, who's AJ Terrell's little brother. He plays here and there. You have Khalil Barnes, a true freshman safety, who's forced a few turnovers this year. Toriano Pride had a big game against Wake Forest this past week. So overall, I like the direction Clemson is going. I think we still play Notre Dame, which my dad and I on this channel are going to be there. We are going to vlog that game. We still play Miami after this bye week. We got North Carolina at the end of the year. We have South Carolina at the end of the year. So we still have a lot of football to be played. So I don't think Clemson should be written off by any stretch of the imagination. Still think they get to a respectable bowl game. I think by what we've seen so far, they're probably going to be 9-3 or 8-4 maybe to end the regular season with a chance to either get 10 wins or 9 wins in the bowl game, which I would love to have 10 wins because that would be 13 straight years of 10 wins. So I'd love to see that. But again, it's a disappointment when you're 4-2 after 6 games because you expect your team, if you're a Clemson fan, to be competing for the national championship and a playoff spot. And as of right now, we'd be lucky to get into the ACC title game. We need a lot to go our way. As of right now, we are 2-2 in conference. There's 4 undefeated teams in conference, and there's still Georgia Tech, who's 2-1. Luckily for us, we still play Georgia Tech and North Carolina. Duke still has to play Florida State. Louisville still has to play Florida State. North Carolina still has to play Miami, I believe. So a lot of games still to be played. So I'm not writing off our guys just yet. But I think it's definitely going to be a tough hill to climb in order to get to the ACC title game. But I mean, overall, it's an up year for the ACC. 5 ranked teams right now in the top 25. Clemson not being one of them, and Clemson is not not a tough, or it's not an easy out by any stretch of the imagination. I think they can beat anybody on their schedule. We saw the Florida State game. The kicking situation really costed us that game, which kind of sucks. But I like where we are right now. I like where the ACC is right now. Kind of more respect to the ACC with still having 3 undefeated teams. 3 teams in the top 15, with Duke right outside the top 15 at number 17. So next year, I think Clemson will be right back into the thick of it. I know I said that in the preseason, in the previews, but I mean, it's kind of hard to not believe that when, like I said, when you are a Clemson fan, that the last 10 seasons you've won, or last 12 seasons you won 10 games. Losing is not something that's normal. And that's not me trying to brag or boast, because obviously we have 2 losses already, through halfway through the season, but it's just not normal for a team like Clemson, Alabama's of the world, Ohio State's of the world, to have 2 losses through 6 games. So it's definitely weird to couple that with the South Carolina and the Tennessee loss last year. So I think we're 4-4 in our last 8 games, which is kind of pitiful, to be honest. But we'll see. Like I said, we have a bye week this week. Playing Miami after the bye week. They're a top 25 team right now. Then we play NC State, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, South Carolina. I think if we went out, I mean, you got to put us in the top, 12, top 10, if not 12, just because you at that point you play 3 ranked teams as of right now. So I'm very interested to see how the season kind of shakes out for Clemson. I know a lot of people are down on us right now, given that we're, like I said, we're 4-4 in the last 8 games. But I think if anybody watched that Duke or the Florida State game, they know that, Clemson was very much in those games. The ball just didn't bounce their way, unfortunately. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, hopefully we have a big game against Miami. I know Miami's coming off that heartbreaking loss to Georgia Tech on terrible play calling in their own right. Should have just nailed the ball. But big game at Miami. That would be a big win for us. I think if we win that game, we're back in the top 25 at 5-2. And then the big showdown against Notre Dame a few weeks after that, which I can't wait to be at. Like I said, we're going to vlog that game for you guys. But yeah, nonetheless, this was my kind of takeaway halfway through the season for my Clemson Tigers. What we might do is have my dad get on here and do an Ohio State one, just that way he can kind of give his takeaway from Ohio State and where they stand right now. It's been very fun, though, growing this channel. Like I said, I think we're at 940-something subscribers. We're adding some. We're losing some. If you guys are new here, if you're a Clemson fan, please do me a quick favor. Subscribe to the channel. We post every single day. As you guys can see behind me, I am a massive Clemson fan. Had a few friends that played there. Went to the national championship game, in 2015, 2016. So if you're a Clemson fan, please join the community. Like I said, we're giving away a signed Heisman jersey when we hit 1,000 subscribers. We have a Discord, and the link is in the description. We have a Pickem. The link is in the description. It's been very fun kind of, talking with you guys on every live show. Our next live show is going to be this Friday, previewing Week 7 games. And then we are going to go live this weekend, recapping the games. So please join the community, join the channel, bring a friend, tell a friend. It's an awesome community to join. Like I said, we talk football every single day. We post every single day. And we're going to be giving away a massive signed Heisman jersey once we hit 1,000. We've been stuck around 900 for a while now. So please help us hit that benchmark, that milestone. But we will see you guys at tomorrow's video. We appreciate anybody who has stuck around this long. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. We will see you guys tomorrow.